Welcome to the Cedar Valley Podcast. Consider this your inside look at what makes our region special. We talk about everyday life here in the Cedar Valley, the voices speaking up for progress, the ideas shaping our future, and the partners investing in our success. We believe community is built one conversation at a time, and we've saved you a seat at the table. All right. Well, today on our Cedar Valley podcast, I am so lucky to have our youngest guest to date, Meyer Orr. Thank you for joining us on the Cedar Valley podcast. Is this your first podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll make it nice and easy for you. We're just going to have a conversation. So today is the last day of school. Are you excited about that? Yeah. Awesome. So what kind of things do you have planned for this summer?
Well, first of all, I really like soccer, so I have that. I also have golf, and the USA Cup is coming soon. And this weekend, the Moonlight Classic is being hosted with over 10,000 people hosted every year. So that's going to be fun.
That's going to be super fun. How many games are you playing in this weekend?
4.
4. Do you have to play a game that's really late at night?
I'm not, but there is a couple other people who are.
Okay, so you get to play soccer just during regular time. That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Meyer, this weekend is My Waterloo Days. It's kind of the unofficial kickoff to summer in the city of Waterloo, and there's lots of activities. And later today, I'm going to be talking to Tavis Hall. Tavis is the executive director of Experience Waterloo, and they're the organization that puts on My Waterloo Days. If you were to have a question for Tavis, what would you want to know about My Waterloo Days?
So, what activities would there be for someone my age?
Awesome. That will be a great question for Tavis. Now, I know that you have walked in the parade with us the last couple years, so you've got a little bit of insight into what My Waterloo Days is all about. Do you have a favorite festival activity? You like games? Do you like the food? What's your favorite thing about summer festivals?
Pretty much everything.
Pretty
I
much
really-
everything. I love it. I love it. Just here for the fun.
I really like the parade at My Waterloo Days because you could sit in the back of the Jeep and throw candy.
That is really fun. I have enjoyed throwing candy to all of the kids at the parade. I am just always amazed how many kids there are. And no matter how much candy we have, it always seems like we run out, right?
Always.
Always.
Yeah. I kept giving out handfuls of candy, so I was running out pretty fast.
But you were also really popular with the kids on the parade route then. If you were giving them handfuls of candy, I bet they love that. Good for you, buddy. Well, Meyer, I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to me today. I am not going to keep you any longer because I want you to go and enjoy your summer vacation. But thanks for talking with me today. This is Katy Susong. Welcome to the table. Today we have Tavis Hall. Tavis is with Experience Waterloo and is a good friend. And we are going to spend a little bit of time talking about the work that he does on behalf of Experience Waterloo and some of the exciting things that you can do, whether it's with My Waterloo Days or just in the great city of Waterloo over the summer.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's
It'll be
dive
good.
in. All right, Tavis, tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Experience Waterloo. Just what is the mission of your organization?
Sure. Well, I'm a Waterloo kid,
Yep.
born and raised. I grew up just in the Church Road neighborhood. Nothing, just a regular childhood, right? Just hanging out, enjoying what I could enjoy. Didn't have a whole lot of means, but my mom was able to make it fun nonetheless. And so fast forward, I ended up getting a career working for the U.S. House, very strangely. And our district office was across the street from a coffee shop. And it was very boring to be one of two people working in a congressional office. And so I would go across the street to just honestly meet people or at least be around
Sure.
energy.
Yep.
And Steve Mager is since passed, but was very much this sort of, the folks that knew Steve, loved Steve, very optimistic, very visionary about what Waterloo could be. And he was sitting around a table with the Jeff Kurtz of the world, David Deeds, John Hayes, and I think day 2 of seeing me at the coffee shop, Steve told me to pull up a chair and just got connected with those folks. Realized, I could volunteer with Main Street, and shortly thereafter became the director at Main Street and about 2 years after that, became the director at Experience Waterloo after being
Awesome.
on that board. So it's been an interesting journey. When I got on the board and when I became director, it was still the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Sure.
It's still technically our name. But we pretty much right away, when I jumped on, went through a rebrand, and we wanted to be very intentional to move beyond that more traditional and that Convention and Visitors Bureau, not the sexiest name, right? Like it's fine. It's got its purpose, and there are entities that still do it.
Yep.
But we knew that what we wanted to lean into was something beyond just sort of your traditional heads in beds. And so we really focused in on becoming a DMO, a destination marketing organization. A lot of times we actually refer to it as a DXO, the algebraic X. We are the destinations whatever organization.
Sure.
So sometimes that's going to be event planners. Sometimes that's going to be, advocates for development. At times that's been advocates for public health. Whatever the space, it's our job to promote Waterloo. We have 4 people on staff. It's going to be our job, regardless of whether that is a Convention and Visitors Bureau or something else. But the idea of Experience Waterloo is a full invitation for folks, not just to come through, not just to visit, not just travel, stop, grab gas, and go somewhere else. We want folks, when they get here, to start to understand why the people that call here home are so proud to do so. And we know we've got 4 folks on staff, but we know we can empower 68,000 residents to become advocates
Mhm.
for this community. And so became really intentional, leaning in a little heavier on leisure marketing, but really focusing on how do we strengthen community pride as a mechanism to drive tourism.
Awesome. No, I love that. I want to circle back to a couple of the things that you
Yeah.
talked about in that. First of all, I think a lot of people know Experience Waterloo for your events, namely My Waterloo Days,
Mhm.
but you just alluded to the fact that you guys do a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the things that you do within your organization?
Absolutely. So we put together another large effort that we put together is our visitors guide. We print about 25,000 copies every year. We have leads through Iowa Economic Development Authority and the tourism office to get those sent out to folks who are expressing some level of interest in Waterloo. So we want to make sure that we get them a publication that visually reflects the experience that they
Hmm.
could come to expect here. And so we take a lot of pride in that document. Websites are a whole nother beast, especially now in the age of AI. You're having to feed information in different ways, and to really be our destinations marketing organization, we do view ourselves as that. Occasionally, we have to go on and do something else from time to time, but at our core, that's our charge. And so we do a Christmas event, Waterloo Lights and Night. It's a lot of fun. It's very cute, but we also do some pretty serious business, putting conference bids together. We work to advocate for things like court works, which we're excited
Hmm.
about. We have a really strong partnership with the Sports Commission, the Cedar Valley Sports Commission, and Ashley Johnson, as we continue to try to just attract tournaments, conferences over at the convention center, and work with our leisure destinations as well throughout the community, just to make sure that folks have a good time when they're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we know because of the work that we do right alongside you and are witness to the work that you're doing in the community that there's real economic impact to the
Mhm.
work that your organization is doing. So,
Absolutely. We generate about 1 million visitors,
mm,
out of town visitors per year in the area. And so there's an opportunity here to continue to maximize that visitor spend. Most people do not pack a loaf of bread and turkey when they go out of town. If people do that, they should stop doing that and support a local business. But that tourism spend is where a lot of restaurants, a lot of nightlife, a lot of our attraction folks, that's where they find their margins. Some of them, it's their base.
sure.
You take a single speed, for instance, half of their visitation is from out of town. Uh,
Interesting.
and so those are folks that are coming, those are dollars coming into our community, and that creates a real job. Courtworks is going to be about $17 million of economic impact.
Mhm.
It's about 200 real-time jobs that will be supported, direct jobs and then B2B jobs. That's meaningful for a community that wants to make sure you got a nice place to go out to eat.
Yep.
Uh, when you got a date night or whatever, you got family that comes into town, and having those tourism dollars there to be really serve often as that margin helps keep some of our favorite restaurants open.
Absolutely. Awesome. You did talk a little bit about your team too. They're small but mighty.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
tell me a little bit about the secret sauce. I mean, your
yeah.
team seems to work really well together.
We do.
Tell me a bit about
We
that.
do. So, Lindsay Peters as our marketing director, guru, the glue that holds that place together. Lindsay is fantastic. She's been with us for, I believe, around 6 years, maybe a little
Wow.
more.
Okay.
Kira Hellenthal is relatively new, a little less than a year as we get ready to approach My Waterloo Days. I think she started around September. So this is her first My Waterloo Days.
Exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
So she handles our social media and content. She's doing a fantastic job at just driving those eyeballs, visitors and locals alike. Investing in your social media matters. To be a destination's marketing entity and not have meaningful investment in social media would be weird given how folks consume media now. And so those two, and then Deanna is our administrative assistant. She's relatively new to us. So she's definitely got a little baptism by fire from My Waterloo
For
Days. And
sure.
it is a lift.
Yeah.
It's a lot of folks, it's a lot of hands, it's a lot of voices. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of potential for us to drive community pride in ways that haven't always historically done so. The team that we've got, Chris Corkery as well, is technically a contract with us, but Corkery and Corkery do all of our design work.
Mm.
And, to have that level of creative energy and just fun.
Yeah.
We try not to be too boring over the experience. It'd be really weird if your organization's name was Experience Waterloo and it was just,
Yeah.
a
And you were
bunch of
lame.
stiffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
we try to keep it fresh over there, and it's a fun shop. It's nice to be able to go in and enjoy the folks that you work with,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. I definitely
Yeah.
understand what you're saying there and can appreciate it. We've got a great team here
Yeah.
and it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk My Waterloo Days. It is coming up.
It is.
Just because I have never planned an event of this scale, how long in advance do you start planning for an event of this size? And maybe give, for those that maybe don't know, give a little bit of background on, what is My Waterloo Days? How big is My Waterloo Days?
So we'll start with what is My
Yeah,
Waterloo
yeah, yeah.
Days, right? It's our community celebration. It's in its 44th year, I believe. This is our 4th year as the organization charged with leading the effort. And so we made a pivot with a heavy emphasis on marketing. As a DMO, it only sort of made sense for us to lean into that angle.
Sure.
So a rebrand and then a reimagination of what the event could be, what the entertainment lineups could look like. And we want to make sure we view My Waterloo Days as sort of the unofficial kickoff to summer in Waterloo. And Waterloo is blessed to have a ton of festivals. We wanted to make sure that the entirety of the festival lineup of the year really reflects the community.
Sure.
And we have a very unique and diverse community, especially in the state of Iowa, for Waterloo to hold the position and that it does is, to me, it's really great. It's one of the unique features of our community that we just wouldn't obviously be the same if we didn't have it. And
Yeah.
so we wanted to make sure that the musical lineup reflects the diversity of the community. And so we leaned into R&B and hip hop a little bit more. We've had country, we've had pop, we've had rock, but where we found the most success, where the audience has grown the largest, has been on those nights where we've had hip hop, R&B especially have
Sure.
been really great nights for us. And so we're sort of leaning a little bit more on that end. But this year we've got Commodores, Murphy Lee, who was with St. Lunatics, Nelly's group. So all of us
Yeah.
40 somethings will absolutely remember some of those hits, and then Mario to finish off the night on Saturday. So it should be a good weekend for a lot of folks. And hopefully it's a real celebration. Every year we want it to be that. And then I do feel like we've had it as a full celebration of the community. It is not just music. We've got other activities as well. We've got the kids' bike races on Saturday. We have the My Waterloo Days parade, which is a huge undertaking in its
Absolutely.
own right. But, to the first part of your question of what all goes into it, it is everything from How many bathrooms are we going to need? What's our stage company production? Anytime you have these larger national acts, you've got writers. They all have technical requirements. They all have hospitality requirements. And so there's a lot of just organizing and keeping things. The number of zip ties that we have to order is wild to me, but we do it. And honestly, the partnerships, we couldn't do any of it without the partnerships, whether it's the city of Waterloo, Waterloo Center for the Arts, Main Street, Convention Center, our sponsors, Grow Cedar Valley, right? Like we've got some really good relationships that we maintain throughout the year, not necessarily for My Waterloo Days, but My Waterloo Days is a beneficiary, I think, of those relationships.
For sure.
It's a little bit of a lift. Every once in a while, Lindsay in our office sort of looks at me crazy when I'm already, for instance, now thinking about next year.
Sure.
And she knows once I even start to take that conversation turn, she gives me a look that says, knock it off.
Not yet.
Not right now. Yep. So I have to bury that. I file that one back. But we start at least mentally planning about a year ahead.
Yeah.
Really actively planning starts pretty heavy right after the visitor's guide or the experience guide.
Sure.
So early January, we come back from that Christmas break and we're thick of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's an impressive event. I know a couple years ago was our first time as Grow Cedar Valley in a while participating in the parade. And I remember thinking like we had bought massive amounts of candy to hand out at the parade and was feeling really, really good. And we make kind of the first part of the parade and we get up over the bridge and I see how many more people there are and how little candy we have.
Yeah.
I have never felt so bad in my life. Like, look at all these kids and we don't have candy for them.
I tell you, parades are one of those things that everybody just gets excited about.
Yeah.
Right? Like to see little kids get super pumped about every single float that goes, right? Whether it's a band, whether it's a really cool vehicle. We've got one float that plays, it's like a rock band on a float. They get excited about the Culligan Man, right? Like every entry, there's some engagement with kids and it really is, it's a great celebration of community.
Yeah.
Sort of in about an hour time span, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It feeds right into the park. We did change how the parade sort of flows. So that we do get, one of the things that we always want to try to do is maximize economic impact for businesses in the footprint of any of the events that we do.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the reason to bring it down, to make sure it's on 4th Street, is that the businesses there, back in the day, they used to do it on Park and 5th.
Okay.
And then the businesses on 4th had no access to their storefronts and no people.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
And so, by bringing the parade right in front, people can hang out on some of those outdoor patios, have a cocktail or two, watch a parade. It all kind of works and it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah. It's a fun parade.
It is.
It is hard not to, whether you're in the parade or just observing all of the people and everything that's going on around you, it's hard not to be proud of Waterloo when you are in the midst of that environment. And just to your point, to see happy kids, to see families just enjoying the summer together.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a good event.
It
It's
is.
really, really good.
It is.
So I had a conversation with a friend of mine named Meyer. He is 10 years old.
Okay.
And Meyer has been to My Waterloo Days.
All right.
He's in fact even been in the parade.
Very cool.
He likes the event. What else can he look forward to? What activities? You talked about the bike races.
Kids bike races is a good sort of nostalgic piece that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's a great activity for Meyer. We're going to have a classic car show this year on Saturday. That'll be on 4th Street. We'll have some other vendors. There's a bags tournament. The park is $10 admission just to sort of make everything work. But we try to keep that price point low. It is free on Saturday until 3 o'clock. So from 11 till 3, it's free.
Okay.
Come in. Tom Thumb Donuts are a must. We'll have a Ferris wheel in the park this year.
Kidding.
Yes.
Okay.
Free rides on the Ferris wheel. So we'll have some other carnival games and stuff like that within Lincoln Park as well. So we do want to make sure, yes, of course, there's a lot of emphasis on the concerts. There's some emphasis on the 20 different beers and adult beverages that you can have. But we also want to make sure the kids have a good time too.
Absolutely.
And so having some of those installations where kids can get activated, they can feel good, and they can just sort of hang out in the park
Yeah,
is fun. I can remember being a kid going to Burns for my Waterloo days, right? And folks have a lot of nostalgia,
for
a
sure.
lot of fond memories about those times, and that is a part long-term play of instilling community pride.
Yep.
And so making sure that we've got a space that's good for kids that feel excited to be in the environment and to call Waterloo home is really important to us.
Love that.
Mm.
All right. Meyer, you heard it here first. There's lots of fun things for kids to do at My Waterloo Days.
Yep, Tom Thumb donuts, lots and lots
First
of
and
Tom,
foremost, sugar,
as much sugar as you
all
can
the
get.
sugar.
Yep, you ain't coming home with me, so have at it.
I love it. All right. Well, switching gears just a little bit, Experience Waterloo as the destination
Mhm.
marketing organization for this community. If you were to plan a perfect summer day for somebody coming to Waterloo, tell me what that would look like.
Well, as the Experience Waterloo director, I'd say make it a weekend, not a day.
Love that.
Number one, stay in a hotel in Waterloo. That'd be fantastic. Man, to start, it's so hard. You got to eat something to start it off. I don't know how you can say anything but morgues.
Yeah.
To start your
It's
morning
a
off with a
destination.
pancake the size of, bigger than your face. It's been around for 60 some years. I can remember my grandpa taking me to morgues when I was a little kid playing with the jukebox. It really is. It's a very unique place. We have folks that come back for different business trips or festivals that they always make sure morgues is on their stop list. So definitely encourage folks to check out that. I would tell someone to check out morgues to start your day. Probably walk over to Connemore and just grab like a mid-morning snack. It's just so good.
Pancakes
It's
and pastries. I like
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're probably going to see a little bit of a journey here, a little food journey. Of course, the water park and the theme park in the summertime. It's just get that park hopper. You can do the water park early part of the day, finish the evening over at the theme park, or 2 days, get that
Oh,
hotel stay in. There's also some really fun small pieces, right? Everybody loves a good selfie. There's a new mural that just got painted downtown on East 4th Street,
okay.
over by Gino's Pizza. If you're still downtown for lunch and the giant Morris pancake or the pastry didn't quite hold you over, um, one, you should probably rethink some life decisions. But second, you should definitely go check out Gino's. It's really good. Content City is right across the street from that. It's another great spot to grab some selfies and just sort of have some fun. If you've got little ones, Phelps Youth Pavilion is fantastic.
Yeah.
The splash pad's great. There's always a festival or a concert somewhere in the summer. There's something going on. As you're out Phelps, walk through the Waterloo Center for the Arts, Dan Gable Museum, the Grout Museum, the John Deere Tractor Museum.
Hmm.
We've got some really great pieces that help tell the collective story of the community in a way that's engaging and educational and all of that. Single Speeds is such a unique space. It's especially near and dear to me. My aunts growing up worked at the Wonder Bread Bakery, and I don't remember how old I was. I know I was not very old. I won 100 boxes of Twinkies on that's a lot of Twinkies.
That's
Gave Twinkies away forever at Halloween because they were,
yeah.
the Twinkies are
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Basically, they're probably still good
In
now.
shelf life.
Yeah. But I remember my grandpa had to go and pick up and grab his pickup truck
To get all the
to get
Twinkies.
all the Twinkies. What do you do with 100
That's
boxes of Twinkies in a
hilarious.
car?
Yeah.
It's a weird gift. That's a weird prize, but it is
I
what
mean, I
it
don't
is.
hate it
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It worked out. We've got a great trail system here.
Yeah.
You know, f- whether it's in downtown Waterloo, I think there's 5 trails that all converge within downtown that can take
Yeah.
you to just about any corner of the community that you're looking to get to. Late night, go over to the casino, try your hand. Maybe you'll get lucky. Either way, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We've got some really fun spots. There's certainly spots that I'm not naming, but you said a
I can't
day
believe you
trip.
didn't say the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah,
Right? That's
yeah.
a baseball game in the
Yeah,
summer.
in the summer, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I grew up at that stadium, actually. Yeah, I can remember there's a guy who would always give me a couple quarters to buy peanuts or popcorn. His name was Cookie. He'd always sit in the exact same spot. My stepdad growing up played for the Waterloo Bucks, and so
Yeah.
we were there every game, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
Little bright-eyed, big smile, giant curl Tavis running around asking people for quarters to get peanuts and popcorn. But then I can distinctly remember sitting next to Cookie and watching the game.
Yeah.
That was my buddy. There are some great obvious selections. There's some great hidden gems.
Yeah.
This is the reason that we went with the name Experience. It's not because of its brevity and ease to type into an email address. Experience Waterloo is not the easiest thing to type out when you're cranking an email, but it is the truest way we could invite someone to Waterloo. It's not a spot you can just come and pass through in order to fully appreciate. You have to experience it.
I love that. We've talked a lot about My Waterloo Days. We've talked a lot about your organization and what you've done. Now let's shift gears a little bit. What's next for Experience Waterloo?
So we're really excited about the Courtworks project. As a cheer dad, I can tell you that you're shelling out some coin when you go out of town to engage. People will cancel a lot of subscriptions before they cancel their kids' memberships to club sports. And there's a real potential with that facility to unlock a whole nother level. I mentioned before, we're about 1 million visitors. That's going to be blown out of the water once that thing is fully up and operational. And so really excited to see how that changes the dynamic of tourism, not just in Waterloo, but throughout the Cedar Valley. And with that's going to come future developments. And we would hope an opportunity to give some input and provide a voice for that visitor's perspective, because it is really important to make sure that we're building communities, not just for today's residents, but for tomorrow's visitors and the next day's new residents. Tourism is often viewed as an opportunity to be the first impression of a community. There's a lot of folks who have, whether it's Zillow or Homes or whatever app on their phone, when you're out of town, if you really like the place, it does start to
for
pique
sure.
your curiosity.
Yep.
And if we want to create a place where people want to live, we have to create a place where people want to visit.
Yeah.
And I think having Experience Waterloo at that table, and however we can be of benefit and value in crafting a future for the community that reflects that perspective, I think we're all going to be better off for.
Agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. All right, Tavis, final word. Fill in the blank. Waterloo is
Home. Regardless of whether you are a visitor or a resident in Waterloo, once you experience it, you're home.
Love that. Thank you very much. Tavis Hall, Experience Waterloo, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. We appreciate all you do, and we cannot wait for My Waterloo Days. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining the conversation. More stories, updates, and voices from across the Cedar Valley coming your way. Stay tuned for the next episode.